Hey y'all, welcome to Missouri Grown Carolina Home. I'm Katie if you are new here, and I'm so glad you're here to watch this video. Today I'm taking part in the collab hosted by Sonia from Domestic Diva. It is a fall baking collab, and I am bringing to you an apple crumb cake. This is a cake that I've made several times before, and it is so good. It is definitely loved by our family. So what we're going to do first is make this streusel crumb topping, and you're basically going to add your flour, brown sugar, cinnamon. Nutmeg is optional. We don't like nutmeg, but so I didn't add it, but you can if you like that. We're going to add salt, and we are going to kind of stir that all together. Next up, we are going to add our melted butter and our vanilla. And I don't recommend using a whisk for this. I would honestly get either a fork or a pastry cutter if you have it to do that. You'll see here in a minute that I was trying to use a whisk and it was not working, so I went ahead and just got some forks. That's what I would recommend using. After this is all combined and forms like basically a bunch of crumbs, you'll set it to the side and then we will get started on the cake. I went ahead and diced up 2 apples. I peeled and diced them. And I also got my butter softened. So we're just going to cream our butter and our half a cup of sugar together. Then we will add the egg, vanilla, and sour cream and combine that well. And then we'll add our dry ingredients. During this time also, you will want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. The recipe calls to use an 8-inch spring form pan. I didn't use that this time. Most of the time when I make this, and I didn't even think about it, I use a loaf pan and it comes out good. I've never had any problems. This time I just used an 8-inch glass baking dish, and you'll see here in just a little bit that I was having a little bit of a difficulty, but it all turned out in the end. So if you have a springform pan, that's what they recommend, but next time I make it, I'll use a loaf pan like I normally do. I don't know why I didn't do it this time, but you live, you learn. and you use a little loaf pan the next time. But you'll see that here in just. So here I'm just adding my dry ingredients. I did put a screen before this video, you saw it, of what you'll need for this recipe. If you want to screenshot that, you can do that. Otherwise, I will have the recipe written out down below and the link to where I found this recipe. Like I said, we've made this several times and it's always so good, but we do make our own little alterations to the recipe, like the glaze. We don't do exactly the same, and I don't use the nutmeg just because that spice is a little overpowering for us, but we don't mind cinnamon. So anyway, that is the cake, what you do for the cake. And now I'm getting my baking dish and you're going to use half the batter on the bottom, and they say it's going to make a thin layer, and it does. This is where I wish I would have used my loaf pan because my batter just did not go as far as I wanted it to. I even stopped for a minute and thought, okay, do I need to make more batter or what? That's really up to you if you want to double the batter recipe so you have more cake. It turned out in the end, but like you can see, I'm having a little bit of hard time spreading it. But anyway, you'll do a thin layer on the bottom, put all of your apples on top of that, top the apples with half your crumb topping, add the rest of your batter. That's where it gets kind of hard because you're trying to spread batter over crumb topping, and then you'll layer the last little bit with your crumb topping. So I'll just go ahead and show you what I do here in just a minute. This is where I was having a lot of trouble trying to get it to spread over that crumb topping. I did the best I could. Like I said, I thought about making extra batter. I ended up not. I just did what I could, and it did. It turned out good, so there was really no problem with it. But yeah, you can definitely see I'm having a little bit of trouble there. Alright, y'all, I just wanted to come in here and tell you, use a smaller pan. I've made this cake a handful of times and it's never turned out quite like this, but I remember now that I usually use a loaf pan. The recipe calls for an 8-inch spring form pan. I have one of those, but I didn't really want to dig it out, so I went ahead and got my 8-inch baking dish. I contemplated making more batter, but I'm really just going to see how this goes. So what we're going to do now is top it with our remaining streusel and see how it turns out. I'm sure no matter what, it'll be delicious. But just in case you make it, I either recommend doubling your batter or using a loaf pan. So let's just top it with the rest of our streusel. We're going to bake at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes. Wow. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, so this has been out of the oven for a little while and cooling, and we are going to make our glaze. I'm doing about 2 cups of powdered sugar and some heavy cream and vanilla. The recipe calls for powdered sugar and apple cider, or something like that. Apple cider, I guess. And I just didn't think that, I've never made it that way. My family doesn't really drink a whole lot of apple cider, so I just do it like a normal glaze. But I actually saw on another YouTube channel that they used heavy cream for their glaze, and I'm like, that's genius. I don't know why I never thought of that. I normally use milk and it usually comes out pretty thin, but this cream did. I really liked it a lot better, so next time I do it, I'll remember the cream. I wish I could remember what channel I saw that on. I can't remember, but they did. They showed us cream, so I thought I'd do that, and then of course I add some vanilla for extra flavor. But you could definitely do the apple cider if that is something you and your family enjoy. I like a thicker glaze. Right now it's a little too thick, but I do like it a little bit thicker. And instead of just drizzling it over the cake, I just kind of dump it all over the cake because we like glaze. But that is all you're going to do for finishing off this cake, and then you're just going to let it set up. Even though I had some issues, it turned out delicious, like always, and the family truly enjoyed it. Here it is all set up and ready to be served and enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you are new. I would really love to have you part of my YouTube journey. Thank you, Sonia, for hosting this fun collab. I was very, very grateful to be part of it. I had a lot of fun making this and videoing it and sharing it. So thank you for that. Don't forget to check out Sonia's channel down below, as well as the playlist, and watch all the fun fall baking desserts that you are going to love and enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, bye friends.